Welcome to the Drew Yari Show.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is the Drew Yari Show. I am your host, Yari. I don't know why I'm doing the cheesy radio show friendly voice. I think that freaked out my cat, by the way. But yeah, welcome back to the show. It is Wednesday. No, I'm not letting you out. If you hear meowing, that's my girlfriend. I'm playing. That's my cat. My cat, our cat Chili, long story short, I don't know if she broke her leg or stubbed her leg, or she did something to her leg, so she's been like hobbling for the past month and a half, close to 2 months. So we've been having to keep her inside. You know, we keep telling her, if once your leg fully heals, we will let you outside. But unfortunately, she doesn't understand me because I'm a human and she's a cat. So that would be ridiculous if humans and cats could understand each other. Or would it be brilliant or terrifying? Anyways, you're going to be hearing a lot of meowing for the next 5 to 10 minutes, maybe longer. She likes to do her whole, I'm going to wait by the door and be cute and sound like I'm a prisoner in this house, even though I feed her and take care of her and make sure she's okay. But, anyways, how's everyone's night tonight? My night's okay. I have the NBA Finals on Game 3 between the Raptors and the Warriors. I don't really have a dog in this fight because my favorite team is the Spurs. Go Spurs, go. So, I guess I kind of have a dog in this fight because two former guys on the Raptors are former Spurs guys, Danny Green and, dare we say his name, Kawhi Leonard. I would like to see Danny get another ring. I wouldn't mind seeing Kawhi get another ring. Gasp! I'm supporting Kawhi Leonard. I don't really care anymore, to be honest. I was pissed off and I was mad, and Spurs beat the shit out of him when he came here. So, again, it's one of those things where I don't really care anymore. But I just don't want to see the Warriors win another ring. I'm tired of them. I'm tired of the Warriors. Yes, I know I said that I'm tired of the Warriors. I'm not, blowing them like everybody else does. I don't know. It just gets annoying. It just seems like anytime Steph Curry makes a three, the announcers is just like, they're just waiting for Stephen Curry to just come in their mouth already. Like, you just hear, Curry for three! Bang! Curry! I love Steph Curry! I want to be my father! I love him! He means the world to me! Oh my gosh! It's like, ugh. It's like he's barely even got the shot out. I'm ignoring your meows, Chili. You can meow all you want. You're staying inside till you heal. Anyways. So I have the game on. I'm just recording. Worked earlier. This week I'm at another store for my job, and I'll explain. I'm not going to say where I work. I told you guys before I work at a grocery store. The store I work at, they decided to open up another store. And there was another store. Shut up! And now, God, it gets annoying sometimes. See, there's two stores of the store that I work at here in San Antonio, and they're closing down the other one, and they're building a completely new one on another side of town, which is freaking far, which is basically, I guess where the rich people of San Antonio live. So they needed people to help them, set up and, stock everything, and I kind of volunteered. So I'm working there this week. Well, not. Working there and helping them out from Tuesday to Friday. And oh my God, that's so distracting. Chili, stop meowing. She does not give a fuck. I'm gonna try. I'm just gonna do my best to try and drown that out. So I'm basically just helping them out from Tuesday. Well, I went there on Tuesday, which was yesterday, and my last day is Friday, and then I'm going back to my actual store on Sunday. Oh my god, shut up. So there's that, and it's a plus for me because the store doesn't open until the 26th, so I'm in a big store that's air conditioned with no customers, and I'm just there stocking. Ching ching. It's a win-win for me. So yeah, there's that. It's not too bad. It's pretty good hours, and my raise for my job kicks in this week, so that's a win-win. What else do we do? What else has been going on for the past week? I saw Godzilla on, I think it was Saturday. I think it was Friday or Saturday we saw Godzilla. You know what? Actually, check that. It was actually Saturday. The movie was good. I liked the movie. It was just what was going on during the movie that I didn't like. We decided to go to one of the theaters at a theater in town that we usually don't go to, and because we were debating, should we watch the movie in RPX or AVX or IMAX, which would have been fucking awesome. We decided to go with regular to save a little money. Looking back on it, we should have just forked over, the extra money to watch it in, IMAX. What was happening was this couple is sitting next to me, and they have a kid, and that's depending on the kid, that's kind of a problem for me. But the kid seemed okay. But this couple, I guess, was coming with their grandparents, or their parents. And their parents decided to sit in a row in front of them. Their original seats were going to be near the aisle. For whatever reason, they decided to sit in the middle. They decided to move seats and sit in the middle, which I'm just like, it's going to be a hassle because someone's going to find them and say, those are our seats, move. And, oh my god, Chili, can I please do my show? I'm not letting you out. Okay? She decided to come over. Anyways, going back to my story. So, yeah, those grandparents end up sitting in the middle. And this is the trailers. And the trailer for Terminator Dark Fate comes out. I already seen it. I'm not that impressed by it. We'll talk about that in a bit. My girlfriend, however, has not seen the trailer. She hasn't really watched trailers. She's one of those, those weirdos that, she'd rather just watch the movie because, she wants to digest it firsthand without seeing clips. What a weirdo. So when the trailer comes on, that's when the couple that was supposed to be sitting in the middle comes up and says, hey, those are our seats. I think you're sitting in our seats. And it's just like, you dumb motherfuckers. Like, why the fuck would you even sit there in the first place? So that couple decides to sit up or stand up and switch seats. And it doesn't help that they're not really in the best of shape. So you have like 4 large blobs, blocking your view. So they end up, going to their original seats. And it just seems, and I'll get into what else pissed me off. So the couple that was sitting next to me with their kid, apparently, again, apparently one of them was sitting in someone else's seat, and they brought their kid to sit in a seat. So they had to move down, and their kid had to sit on their lap. And, the couple was telling their kid, go sit with grandma and grandpa. So it's just like, it's going to be one of those fucking nights, is it? So they ended up going to sit with their grandparents. And for whatever reason, their grandparents told them to go sit back with their parents. heard something. Oh, that's kitchen. Anyways, their grandparents end up telling them to go sit back with their parents, which I'm just like, are you being fucking serious right now? And that little girl had to go to the restroom. So it just became this fucking hassle of we had to keep fucking getting up every 5 minutes because actually, it wasn't even the kid's fault. It was the parents and the grandparents because they kept telling their kid to move back and forth, to go sit over there, to go do this and that. And it just got so fucking annoying to the point where I just decided to say, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to take my time to move. So when that kid was coming back in our direction, I purposely slouched in my chair and blocked her. And just went, I'm going to take my time to move. And so, my girlfriend knew what I was doing, and she was saying, babe, move, and I pretended that I couldn't hear her. Another thing that pissed me off was that, the grandpa or whatever, whoever he was, this girl had to get up and use the restroom. And he was in her way, and she was telling him, excuse me, can you move? Excuse me, can you move? And he was acting like he couldn't hear her. He was either acting like he couldn't hear her, or he was just blowing her off, which was, the same thing anyway. So, finally he decides to fucking pay attention to her and let her move. While this is going on, other fucking people in the theater who decide to bring their kids had to fucking keep taking him to the restroom, and it was just like, oh my god. And this was like the first 30 minutes of the fucking film. And it's just like, why would you bring your kids? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pause real quick. Alright, I'm back. Oh my god. Living with these cats is just like, it's just a lot about it. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if this happens anymore. Does this ever happen to you when you trip over something and it pisses you the fuck off and you just want to just rip its arm off, rip its imaginary arms off and beat the shit out of it with them? I don't know. That's just me. I tripped over the fan wires and for whatever reason it just set me off. I don't know why. So yeah, that was pretty much what was going on during the movie, and then after that, it stopped. But overall, the movie was good. Of course, they had to tell their human stories during the movie. They had to do the whole thing with Vera Farmiga and Eleven from Stranger Things, doing their little family squabble, which I guess. But oddly enough, there were complaints from critics that there wasn't enough human development in the film. It's like, I thought there was enough human development because this is a movie called Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Why do we need to... Why do we even need to have human development? I don't give a shit about the humans. I want to see fucking monsters. You can have your humans, but let it be about the fucking monsters, please. So basically, I guess the quick review of this movie is it takes place. It doesn't really tell you what year it is in the movie. It shows you and tells you, in 2014, which was when the last Godzilla came out. Well, in between those Godzillas, in between from 2014 to this year, there have been a bunch of other Godzillas that came out, but those weren't the ones that came out, in the American theaters, or those ones that came out, overseas. But, this takes place, what happened, after 2014, Godzilla, with Bryan Cranston. Basically it shows that Vera Farmiga's character and Kyle Chandler, they lost a son during the San Francisco situation with Godzilla, where he leveled the town, which technically, Godzilla doesn't really attack towns; he just attacks monsters. The town just happens to be in the way because Godzilla. There's nothing subtle about Godzilla. He's a big motherfucker. So if he grazes by something, he's gonna either destroy it or leave a mark on it. So, anyways, where was I at a point with this? Anywho, they end up moving to a new, I guess, a new house in another side of the world, which is China. And I guess she's working with Monarch. I forgot. I need to watch the movie again. But she's either working with Monarch or she has like Monarch technology, which is able to call over monsters. It's a computer that has some device that's able to communicate with the monsters. And while that's happening, they secretly have Mothra, in their possession, and they wake her up, and it's kind of a beautiful sequence. And then that's when Tywin Lannister's dad and his group of terrorists decides to come in and kill everybody, except for Farmiga and Levin. So they take her, and then Kyle Chandler, he's doing his whole thing. Monarch, which still has the original two characters from the last Godzilla. I'm forgetting his fucking name. Japanese actor. And some British actress. They're helping Kyle Chandler find his family. This TV sucks. So Lannister is forcing Farmiga to use this device to wake up other monsters. It's later revealed that Farmiga actually sought out his help because she believes that the monsters can cleanse the world by destroying it, because mankind is doing nothing but destroying the world. So she thinks, awakening the Titans can kind of restart the world and, bring in a new mankind. So they wake up the Hydra monster. I'm forgetting his fucking name. And then Rodin, and then Woolly Mammoth, and then the monster from the last Godzilla. I'm forgetting its fucking name. I'm bad with names. And some spider monster, and they're just basically just attacking everywhere in the entire world. And then that's when Godzilla comes in. Godzilla ends up getting his ass beat in a fight with the Hydra monster. Well, what happens is Monarch creates an oxygen, nuke that can take out both monsters. That can possibly take out both monsters. It does it doesn't really do anything to them. It basically just kind of slows them down for a bit, and then I'm just going to call it Hydra. The Hydra survives it. Godzilla is kind of down for the count. He's basically hibernating. So Monarch's idea is, let's wake him up by launching a nuclear missile. The only way they can do that, Ken Watanabe, there you go, that's his name. Ken Watanabe's character says, I'll leave the nuke by him. Which basically he's risking his life. That's the only way they can get close to him that could have any effect. So he gets close to Godzilla. And it's kind of an emotional scene because he's a fan favorite in the series. He leaves the nuke by him, and then it explodes, and then it awakens Godzilla. He comes in, starts fucking shit up, and he's fighting Rodin and the Hydra, and then that's when Mothra comes in. And Mothra, which I didn't know that Mothra is a female Titan. She's actually, I guess, the lover of Godzilla. She's the queen, and he's the king. They both put up a good fight. Mothra kind of dies, and before she dies, she kind of, I guess, dissolves into Godzilla and gives him, strength. And he ends up just fucking shit up. He kills the Hydra. All the other monsters show up, and they look like they're about to fight Godzilla, but Godzilla pretty much does the whole, I'm the king, I'm the HNIC up in here. You know what that means. You will bow down to your king. King Kong ain't got shit on me, literally. So all the other monsters, they bow down to him. And then Godzilla goes his way, the other monsters go their way, and that's pretty much it. The end of the movie shows clips, and then they show cave drawings of Skull Island, where they show Godzilla and King Kong. And if anyone saw Skull Island, the post-credit scene shows Loki, or Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson. They're in a Monarch interrogation room. And the actor, I'm forgetting the actor's name. I know he's on Walking Dead. He also played Dr. Dre in Straight Outta Compton. He came in and said, we didn't own this world. They did, the Titans, and it showed drawings of everybody, including Godzilla. So that sets up the future Godzilla versus King Kong movie that's going to happen in like 2 or 3 years. So that's something to look forward to. The post-credit scene showed, Lannister fighting, the severed head of one of the Hydras, which kind of sets up what's going to happen in Kong versus Godzilla, where he's going to make a fake Titan. Which the Hydra is actually not an original Titan. He's actually from outer space. And there's an interesting line there where Watanabe sees that Hydra and goes, he's a false god. He just says it with so much disdain and hate. Like, I hate this fucker. So, yeah, that movie to look forward to. So, yeah, Godzilla was fun. There apparently was not enough human development, which is like, I thought there was enough human development. I want to see Godzilla just fuck shit up. I don't care about the humans. I don't want there to be human development in Kong versus Godzilla. I just want to see these two motherfuckers kill each other. That's just what I want to see. So that was a fun movie. Speaking of a movie that apparently is the opposite of that, X-Men Dark Phoenix, which technically comes out tomorrow, but it releases worldwide on Friday. This is the last X-Men movie in the franchise. There's New Mutants, if that ever comes out. But this is the actual last team-up movie in the franchise. The last movie that came out was Apocalypse, which did not do so great. It was the first movie that showed the new team. Well, it wasn't really a new team. It was just the new actors, the younger actors like Sophie Turner. The new Cyclops. The new Nightcrawler. Jennifer Lawrence, who was Mystique for like 10 seconds in the movie. So, that to look forward to. Anyways. The fuck was that? Just random ass animals. Anyways, so Dark Phoenix has not had the best of reviews. As a matter of fact, it's being said it's probably the worst X-Men film of the entire franchise, even worse than X-Men Origins. I have the reviews up here. What do you want? This cat is going above and beyond to just take over the show. She wants to hijack the show. She is what wrestling fans are when they try to say CM Punk. Like when WWE is in Chicago and the wrestling fans try to take over by chanting CM Punk. That's basically what this cat is. She is trying to hijack this show by making sure I let her out at all costs. And it will not work. Anyways, going back to what I was talking about. So X-Men Dark Phoenix, it had some really just god-awful reviews. It has currently a 21% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes. And that's worse than X-Men Origins. Now, Rotten Tomatoes are not exactly the end-all be-all. They said the same thing about Venom, and Venom made a lot of money, and a lot of people like Venom. Me included. But I'm just looking at the reviews right now. Katie Walsh from Tribune News Service. What's truly amazing about Dark Phoenix is watching the charismatic, award-winning, star-packed cast flail about it in this poorly written nonsense cartoon. McAvoy and Michael Fassbender, Jennifer Lawrence, and Nicholas Hoult all agree to come back for the film despite the expiration of their X-Men contracts, and one hopes that they were paid handsomely for the favor. It's actually astonishing to watch Lawrence suiting back up in the blue makeup to deliver faux girl power lines about how they should be called the X-Women, despite the caliber and talent of the actor. Lackluster writing, directing, and editing can warp a performance into something truly dreadful. Now that's powerful. Scott Anderson of the Seattle Times. Phoenix is a joyless addition to the long-running X-Men franchise. 12 movies over 18 years, and one is left with the impression that the series has been too long at the fair. Performances feel enervated, particularly in the case of Michael Fassbender, who plays Magneto, and Jennifer Lawrence as the blue-hued shapeshifter Mystique. Lawrence has said she wants to move on from the role. Now she will, and she should. The juice has been squeezed out of her with respect to the part. And then there's a bunch of other reviews. So basically, the movie's not very good. The way I'm kind of gauging this is, it seems like they rushed the movie. I don't know if it was because, Fox bought it, so they didn't really have time to redo it how they did. Because I know the movie, I think the movie got pushed back twice. Because it was supposed to come out last year, and then it got pushed back to what's it called? It got pushed back to, I think, February, and then it got pushed back to June. When movies keep getting pushed back, 9 times out of 10 they don't do that well. I know Sophie Turner, bless her, she wouldn't have her way to say she wanted to make sure the movie was done right, kind of like in the comics. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't really speak on it. But judging by the reviews, I don't know. I didn't really have high hopes for this movie. When the first preview came out, there was a huge, collective meh kind of for everybody, because it basically looked like Last Stand. It basically looked like X-Men: The Last Stand. The storyline was that Jean Grey got possessed, and now the entire X-Men are after her. Now they're fighting her. So that's basically, they just took another storyline from one of their other films. And X-Men Dark and The Last Stand was not very good. From what I can remember about that film, Bryan Singer was supposed to do it, but he decided to go do Superman Returns. So they brought in Brett Ratner, and then there was the whole thing, what was going on behind the scenes, that he was, treating what's her name, Shadowcat like shit. He was sexually harassing her. But that's not a good one. I don't know. I'm still going to watch the film. I'm thinking about watching it on Friday after I get out of work, or probably go Saturday when I'm off. But I don't know. I kept saying, I've said this more than once on the show, I didn't really have high hopes for it. It didn't look that good. It didn't really look appealing. I just find it kind of weird how they teased her Phoenix powers in Apocalypse, but it just seems like they're kind of overshadowing it in this film, because it's basically telling her, no, she got her Phoenix powers in space. It's like, so you mean to tell me that Apocalypse scene didn't mean shit? Jean has always been the fucking Phoenix. She's been the Phoenix her whole fucking life. She has just been holding it dormant. In the trailer, it shows that she had a very traumatic, accident, that she, caused the accident that killed her parents. But Charles Xavier, for whatever reason, decided to keep it dormant and not tell her about it, which is what I'm hearing. Jeremy Johns, who's a YouTube movie reviewer. He's actually my favorite reviewer. He reviewed it and he gave it the lowest score he could possibly give it, which is dog shit. And one thing he said about it was, Professor Xavier is kind of a piece of shit in this movie because he, instead of helping Jean Grey get over this traumatic loss in her life, he decides to keep it dormant and decides to hide it from her instead of helping her deal with it. So it's like, you mean to tell me you have a school for gifted youngsters? You're here to help people, supposedly, but instead of helping me, you're just hurting me? Like, it kind of alluded to that in the trailers, that Jennifer Lawrence, Mystique is, telling, Xavier, what have you done, Charles? And then Beast is pissed off at Xavier and he ends up joining with the Brotherhood. I don't know. I have a feeling, Xavier just seems like he's going to be very unlikable in this movie. They haven't said if there's a post-credit scene, which I don't know if there should be because it's the last ever X-Men film. It would be kind of weird if there's a post-credit scene. If it sets up for them being in Marvel, that would, I guess. But I had a conversation with a friend of mine because I've kept saying verbatim for the last year, I think they should move these actors to the MCU because it would just be weird to pick new actors. Because, these motherfuckers are new. They're 3 years new. But a friend of mine, Sean, made a good point, which is when you look at those, those actors, they don't look like Marvel actors. They don't look like MCU actors. They fit, what Fox was trying to do with the X-Men. Because Fox's Marvel Universe was more mature, more, dark and gritty. Whereas, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is, more kid-friendly-ish. So he had a good point, because they look more dark, no pun intended. So they're pretty much just going to start from scratch. And looking back on it, it was kind of dumb to suggest bringing them in, because that new cast of X-Men, judging by this film, they haven't been very good. As a dream, it would have been nice to bring in Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, to the Marvel Universe, but sadly that probably won't ever happen. Not even with Ryan Reynolds. So Dark Phoenix, I usually don't pay attention to what critics say. If it's a movie that I am interested in seeing, I'll see it. I usually tend to stray away from critic reviews. Again, Venom. That movie was getting shit reviews, but the fans didn't really care. They wanted to go see it. I wanted to go see it. I've seen it twice, and it's for what it is. I like it for what it is. It's enjoyable. It's entertaining. It does the job. Is it better than most of the MCU Marvel films? Is it even better than most of the underwhelming DC films? Maybe better than the underwhelming DC films. But is it better than most of the Marvel films? No. But it's fun. It does its job. Speaking of Marvel news, it's been reported that 2020 or 2022 will be when Marvel reboots the Fantastic Four. And the idea behind it is supposedly Peyton Reed, who directs the Ant-Man movies. He wants to direct Fantastic Four, and the idea he has for it is that it's going to be set in the 60s. It's going to be another, not really an origin. I don't know if it's going to be an origin story or if it's just going to be kind of like what they're doing with Captain Marvel, where she was a hero, or that she existed in that time and now she's in our time. Which is interesting that he said the 60s, because it reminds me of something John Draper has been pitching. Shout out to John Draper. Is the idea he has for the Fantastic Four, and I'm not trying to steal his idea, this is his idea. This is solely John Draper's idea. and supposedly might even be Peyton Reed's idea. I keep wanting to call him Peyton Royce for some reason. The idea is the Fantastic Four existed in the 60s, and the reason why they're not around anymore is because something, cosmic happened. There was a cosmic threat like a Galactus or Doctor Doom or somebody. And in order to, to save the world, to save the universe, they had to not only, write or erase this, cosmic threat from existence, they also had to erase themselves from existence. So the reason why, you don't see the Fantastic Four in the MCU, Fox, or in this current MCU climate, is supposedly, that's what happened. And nobody remembers the Fantastic Four. Neither does S.H.I.E.L.D., neither does Hank Pym, because I would think Hank Pym would know who that is. Or, Peggy Carter. Is because something happened to where they had to erase themselves and whatever this cosmic threat was from existence. Now with the, I think Spider-Man Far From Home is something that could possibly set it up because, in the trailer that came out, I think last month, I believe, was after what happened with the snap, it tore a hole in our dimension. So now you have, these new threats coming in, these new heroes coming in. You have, Mysterio coming in, who's from another Earth. So that possibly, sets the stage. That possibly sets the stage for the Fantastic Four, being brought back into the MCU. That sets the stage for the X-Men coming into the MCU. Let's say the X-Men are from another dimension, or only mutants exist. Or if any, I think if the MCU is going to bring in the X-Men, that's Scarlet Witch's job. Maybe she can bring in the X-Men. I don't know, but this whole idea of a multiverse, it sets the stage for let's bring in new heroes that we couldn't do before. Let's bring in new villains that we couldn't do before. It's interesting with Spider-Man because Spider-Man is still owned by Sony. At the end of the day, it's a Marvel Studios production, but it's still Sony's baby. So this sets up the idea of a Spider-Verse, of a possible Spider-Verse movie, and this can also set up, set the stage of let's bring in Miles Morales, let's bring in Venom, possibly. Let's have a Venom crossover. That'd be fucking awesome. Because supposedly, I'm saying supposedly a lot. Because I want to say supposedly because I don't want to act like this is true. I want to make this clear. I just want to say I'm just saying supposedly this is just a rumor. That Far From Home is going to end in teasing the Sinister Six. That's probably going to be the post-credit scene in Far From Home is setting up the Sinister Six. And that the former Avengers Tower has been bought by Oscorp. And if you can set up the Sinister Six, and with this, this tearing the dimension, you can also bring in new characters. You can bring in Miles Morales. You can bring in Gwen Stacy, Spider-Gwen. You can bring in Venom. That will be a pretty fucking awesome idea. Them helping Spider-Man fight the Sinister Six, that will be a huge fucking movie. That might even be, dare I say, on the level as being as big as Avengers Endgame. I don't know. But going back to Fantastic Four, that's an interesting idea. The Fantastic Four movies, as we know, have not panned out that great. You had one premiering in 1994 that I don't even think came out in America. It came out in Italy. Because technically, Fantastic Four is not owned by Fox. It comes under the Fox Studios banner, but it's actually owned by a company in Germany. So that's always been a weird thing. Now Marvel Studios owns it. They can put it out. And going back to the movies, there's one that came out in the 90s, and then there was the ones with Chris Evans and Jessica Alba that came out in the mid 2000s. Which, looking back on it, those movies yeah, they were kind of goofy. They weren't really my cup of tea, but I can see what they were trying to do with those movies. It's like I said, a lot of superhero movies that came out during that time, before the MCU happened, they were not that good. Matter they weren't even good at all. But one thing you can say about them was that they got the costumes right. You look at Daredevil, that's like straight out of the comics. You look at the Fantastic Four, Ghost Rider, that shit looked like it came straight out of the comics. Same thing with Punisher. It looked like it came straight out of the comics. But I'm confident, I'm very confident that, Fantastic Four, under the Marvel Studios banner, can thrive and succeed. And I hope it does, because, they're Marvel's first family. Have they always been, are they one of my favorite superheroes? No. But I'm hoping that they can thrive. I'm hoping that they can get better, that they will be what they are meant to be. Who would you cast in it? A lot of people want John Krasinski in the role. That wouldn't be bad. That would certainly add some star power to it. And then put Emily Blunt, his wife, as Sue Storm. I think Patrick Wilson would be interesting in the role. He literally looks like Reed Richards. And, Reed Richards is said to be, the biggest dick in the Marvel Universe. And Patrick Wilson can play a dick. He probably won't do it because he'll probably have to film Aquaman 2 and then the Conjuring sequels. But that would be my my Reed Richards. Sue Storm, that'd be a tough one. Maybe Taylor Schilling from Orange is the New Black. I think that'd be a good Sue Storm. She can fit the role. Johnny Storm, maybe Dave Franco. That'd be a pretty good role. And then you got Thing. Ben. John Cena, I think, would be perfect for that role. Cena I think he's due for a superhero role already. He needs to kind of dip his toe in that water. So yeah, John Cena as Ben Grimm. Dr. Doom. Oof. That's a tough one. Julian McMahon wasn't bad. He actually says he wants to take another crack at the role to kind of play him how he was meant to be in the comics. Definitely not Toby Kebbell, by the way. Oof. That wasn't Dr. Doom. That was just a whiny little hipster cyber nerd. But, yeah, Dr. Doom. Who could play Dr. Doom? Who could play a good Victor Von Doom? There's so many good actors out there. Maybe John Hamm can play a good Victor Von Doom, but I don't know. That's tough. I'm gonna have to come back to that. So that would be my Fantastic Four. I'm interested. I like John's idea, and supposedly it's Peyton. I keep calling him. I want to call him Peyton Royce for some reason. Peyton Reed. I like John's idea. It works. It's solid. I like the idea of not doing origin stories so much because we know how they get their powers. We know how all these motherfuckers get their powers most of the time. More so for the ones that we already know about. The ones like Doctor Strange, that not everyone knows who Doctor Strange is, or Ant-Man. We need to know how they get their powers. The ones that we know enough about, okay, we're good. We don't need to know their backstory. But, yeah, Fantastic Four, supposedly, it's just a rumor, comes out in 2022, and that might even be the idea. And Peyton Reed might even be behind it. More Marvel news. Hulu is supposedly developing a Blade series on Hulu. What was I just... I need to reword that. Marvel Television is set to develop a Blade series on Hulu via MCU Cosmic. As of right now, there isn't too much information regarding this rumor. But some are speculating that John Boyega, Finn from Star Wars, could potentially become our new Blade. That's an interesting notion. I don't know. I personally wouldn't mind seeing Wesley Snipes back. I've been pitching the idea of, hey, the Blade movies, they came out in the 90s, and then the last one came out in 04, and then there was that series with Sticky Fingers, which we'll just forget about that. That one came out the last Blade movie came out in 04. Iron Man started in 08. So you can definitely make the case of, Blade has been around, longer before, the current Avengers. Captain Marvel came out in the 90s. But Blade is eternal. The last movie came out in 04 before Iron Man. So you can definitely make the case that Blade has been in the MCU this whole time. I wouldn't mind having Wesley Snipes back in a series. Wesley Snipes, he looks good for his age. He can go. I mean, it's definitely been proven that, age isn't a problem for superheroes, for a superhero role. But, if they're going to recast, they're going to recast. You can't really stop them. John Boyega, I think he can pull it off. He sounds good for the role. I haven't seen him really playing a badass, though, because Blade's a very serious, a very badass character. John Boyega has played more, as much as I've seen him in, which is basically Star Wars. He's basically been more of the lovable, kind of goofy, hero. I'm not saying he can't pull it off. I'm just saying I haven't seen him in a role that I think he can pull off Blade. You know what I mean? So Hulu wants to do their own Marvel universe, which would be interesting. It'd be interesting because Disney now owns Hulu. So it's not going to be another situation with Netflix where it's like, they exist in the Marvel universe, but not really. They kind of do and they don't. And then the Hulu wants to start their own kind of horror, series on their own horror Marvel characters, because the news came out a couple weeks ago that they're going to do a Ghost Rider series with Gabriel Luna, who played Ghost Rider on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which, I'm interested in that. I'm interested to see how that works out, even though I said I'm not really a huge fan of that Ghost Rider. I'm more a fan of the motorcycle Ghost Rider, the one I grew up on, not the driving in a muscle car Ghost Rider. But whatever, he might grow on me. Who knows? They want to do that. They want to do what was it? I think it was a Hellfire TV series, if I'm not mistaken. They're doing Blade. Supposedly, they threw out the idea of a Moon Knight TV series, which that fucking made me jump up real quick, because anyone that knows me knows I fucking love Moon Knight. It just depends on what Moon Knight they do. I want to see the crazy, psychotic, talks to himself, beats the shit out of people Moon Knight. One interesting, I don't know, I'm just remembering a Moon Knight line where someone asks him, why do you wear white instead of black? Don't you not want your enemies to see you? He goes, that's the point. I wear white because I want them to see me. I want them to see me come. So they think that they're prepared, they're prepared for me, when in actuality, I know what they're going to do. So, Moon Knight is my shit. I fucking love Moon Knight. I hope they do one. If they do a movie or a TV series, I would be fine with both. Personally, I think Moon Knight would benefit more from a TV series, because not a lot of people know about Moon Knight. But then again, not a lot of people knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy were, and they already have, their third movie coming out in a couple years. So what do I know? But first, I wouldn't mind watching a Moon Knight TV series. More Hulu Marvel news. Elizabeth Hurley cast as Morgan Le Fay for Runaways Season 3. I literally have no clue who that is. Supposedly she was trained by, wait for it, Merlin himself. So she's going to be the new big bad in Runaways Season 3. I haven't even finished Season 1. The Runaways it didn't really do much for me. I guess I just don't like the whole, we're teenagers and we hate our parents, fuck you, mom and dad, don't tell me what to do. Like, I mean, obviously that's not how it is in the comics, but the show didn't really do much for me. I should probably finish it just because it's Marvel and I'm a whore for their magic. They're gonna do a crossover with Cloak and Dagger, which I haven't even finished the first season. Cloak and Dagger, I think, is a little bit better than Runaways. The storyline seems a lot more interesting, but I haven't even finished that because there's like a dick ton of superhero and other TV shows, going on, whether it be Netflix or HBO or Hulu or whatever at the moment. So there's just a lot to keep up with. I haven't even finished the recent season of Flash. So there are those TV series. So that does it for the TV show side of things. I'm gonna pull up the Takeover results, and I'm probably gonna bounce out of here a bit. I didn't want to make this too long of a show. What else are we going to talk about? Oh yeah, John Moxley defeated Juice Robinson to become the IWGP United States Champion. Yeah, good for him. It was at a what was the name of the event? I'm pulling up the Takeover results while I'm trying to figure out what was the name of the event, because I heard about it because I remember talking about it on the show. So, right, John Moxley versus Juice Robinson. It was at BOSG. What the fuck is that called? Best of the Super Junior Finals at Ryogoku. Or I don't really care about the name. For New Japan Pro Wrestling's IWGP United States Championship. First match post, leaving WWE and appearing at AEW, and then fresh off the John Moxley infamous interview from last week, which that episode is on Spreaker. That was actually a pretty fun episode to do. I think I've been getting a lot of views on it. So a lot of views, a lot of listens, a lot of downloads. So thank you. His first match in, he comes in with a leather jacket that has his logo on the back, and he's wearing trunks. Which I said I wasn't a fan of the trunks. I guess I said that because I've been so used to Dean wearing jeans, so I'm not really used to his new trunks look. So, I mean, it's not terrible. I need to get used to it. Him and Juice Robinson, they wrestle. I watched the match earlier today. It was a good match. It was a nice match. I don't watch enough NJPW, so I'm kind of not used to the rules. Apparently, instead of a 10 count, they have a 20 count, and they can still use weapons, but yet they can get counted out. That was interesting. Dean wins with a kind of an inverted DDT. Like he goes for dirty deeds, which he doesn't call it dirty deeds. It's called a cross arm breaker or a cross DDT. Robinson kicks out, then he goes for it again, but lifts Robinson up in the air, and then drops him on his head and wins. Robinson is decided to blade during the match. John Moxley is now your new IWGP United States Champion. So good for him. His next appearance is going to be at I think it's either this month or next month. It's going to be called Fyter Fest, and he's going to face Joey Janela, which I may or may not purchase that event. I don't know. I want to wait until maybe All Out. I want to wait until it looks like it's worth my money. I'll put it to you that way. I guess I've just been so used to paying $9.99 a month to watch free pay-per-views that I'm not used to having to go back to reverting to paying $50 for pay-per-views again. But I don't know. Maybe I'll buy it. Maybe I won't. We'll see what happens. So, anyways, NXT Takeover. 25. It was at the Webster Bank Arena in Bridgeport, Connecticut. It was last Saturday. And here are the matches in order. These were obviously pre-show matches. I'm looking on Wikipedia. It says Keith Lee defeated Kona Reeves, and Mia Yim defeated Bianca Belair. There's an N next to him, and the N indicates the match was taped for a broadcast on a future episode of NXT. So we won't see those matches until NXT on Wednesdays. Which is today, actually. I feel bad because I don't watch NXT. I'll watch the pay-per-views, but I don't actually watch the shows, which I feel bad because I'm always off Wednesdays, and I do this show. So I really should just start watching the shows again, because the main product is complete ass. That's my review of Raw and SmackDown. They are ass, except for the Firefly Funhouse. That's the only good thing about the Firefly Funhouse and Kofi's promo on Tuesday. That's literally the only good thing about the main product. Anyways, so the first match on the card, Matt Riddle versus Roderick Strong. That match was 14 minutes and 45 seconds. Matt Riddle won. Very good match. A nice way to open the show. Not too big on Roderick Strong, but he really came out here and just basically tried to steal the show. He tried to show, hey, I'm not the weak one in Undisputed Era. I'm actually pretty good. But yeah, Matt Riddle, I think, to me, he's too big for NXT. Make him the NXT World Champion, but to me, I think he's too big for the company, or not the company, but for the product. It's only a matter of time before he gets called to the main roster. To me, he has way too much charisma, way too much talent. He definitely has a look to him. He looks like one of the Von Erichs. He looks like Kerry Von Erich. He can go out there and just steal the show. Him and Aleister Black are two guys that can be the future of this company. And those two seem like they will be almost impossible for creative to fuck with. And if they do, then fuck them. But Matt Riddle won the match. A lot of people, Kevin Castle, DT said it might even be match of the year. I don't know. I mean, I didn't think it was a terrible. I thought it was a really good match. I even said it was a great way to open the show. Was it a match of the year, Kenny? I don't know. I wouldn't say that. The next match is definitely the match of the night. Ladder match for the vacant NXT Tag Championships. The Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, defeated Oney Lorcan, Danny Burch, the Undisputed Era, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish, and the Forgotten Sons, Wesley Blank and Steve Cutler. Really good match, insane ladder match. Usually these ladder matches can go one of two ways. It could be very bad, or it can be botch-tastic, or sometimes both. This match was neither. It was very good. It was very exciting. I loved it. I've never, again, going back to what I said, I don't watch the NXT show on Wednesdays, so I'm not too familiar with a lot of these guys, and except for Undisputed Era. I haven't seen the Street Profits. I know a lot of people aren't too crazy about their gimmick, because, they think it's kind of, stereotypical. I think it works, because when they came out, the whole crowd was hot. The whole crowd loved them. They're holding up, single red cups. And, they impressed me. I've never seen them wrestle, and they impressed me in this match. The Undisputed Era, they're always going to impress. They're always going to, get the crowd hot. The Forgotten Sons were just that, forgotten. I couldn't give two shits about this team. And for whatever reason, they had, Bram come out to look scary and vicious. But, the Street Profits, they impressed me. They showed why they were in this match and showed why they deserve to be champs. Obviously, the Street Profits ended up, or I think it was either Ford or Dawkins. It was Ford who grabbed both belts. And now they're your new NXT Tag Champions. In my opinion, match of them. Next match on the card, Velveteen Dream versus Tyler Breeze for the NXT North American Championship. Velveteen Dream wins. Tyler Breeze is now. Apparently the story is that he said, "I want to go back to NXT," and now he's in NXT full time, which that's a good idea. I mean, because you have a lot of guys on the main roster that are floundered. You have a lot of guys that have been brought up from NXT, and it just seems like creative has nothing for them. And I just threw out the idea: why not just send guys back to NXT? If you have nothing for them on the main roster, let them go to NXT. Let Luke Harper go to NXT. Now that you're holding him hostage in the company, send Kevin Owens to NXT. Why not? This company does not give two shits about Kevin Owens. They have made that very clear. But Tyler Breeze back in NXT. That's interesting. I like that. Pretty good match. It wasn't amazing. It was a pretty good match. Dream winning. And in the end, Tyler Breeze wanted to share a selfie with Dream. And Dream, I'm not sure what... He's obviously a tweener because, he did the whole... He took a selfie with Breeze, but in the end he, acted like a cocky, arrogant, douche. So... I'm not sure what his gimmick is supposed to be. I'm not sure if he's supposed to be a tweener or a heel or a face. The fans love him. He still kind of acts arrogant. There's no way that gimmick can be a face. I mean, let me scratch that. He can be a face. That gimmick is not a face. That's not something I would imagine people would want to be. But I don't know. I love Dream. I love Velveteen Dream. Again, another guy. I'll put him in the same category with Riddle and Aleister Black. Those are three guys that can be huge stars in the company. And there's no way you can mess those three guys up. There's just no way. There's no way you can. So yeah, Dream wins. Next match on the card, Shayna Baszler versus Io Shirai. The NXT Women's Championship. Shayna Baszler wins. Probably my least favorite match of the night. I think with Shayna Baszler, I think she needs to... It seems like she's pulling her punches. I don't know how to explain it, but she's someone that can easily just go in there and beat the fuck out of people. And again, I know it's wrestling, it's predetermined, but I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. Io Shirai she's just amazing. She is as beautiful as can be, and she can go out there and work. This seems like it's going to continue at SummerSlam because at the end of the match, she just beats the shit out of everybody and then walks out. So I have a feeling they're going to continue this at SummerSlam. Again, my least favorite match of the night. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it didn't really do much for me because during this match I was kind of doing things. I was making myself something to eat and getting something to drink, and I was kind of like falling in and out of sleep during this match. But again, it didn't really do much for me. And then the main event, Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano for the NXT Championship. Gargano won. Or not Gargano won. Adam Cole won. Which just surprised me because I didn't think they would just take the title off of Gargano that soon. Supposedly, and this is from Tyler. Tyler, the trademark. Shout out to Tyler. I think he pointed out that Gargano might be hurt, that he might be working with an injury, so that's why they decided to take the title off of him, so they can give him some time off. Because obviously Gargano is going to get a rematch at the next NXT. Another really good match. This wasn't as good as their match at the last Takeover. Like it just wasn't. That match was insane. This match had a lot of false counts. Not 147 or whatever it was, like Joey Numbers said, but. It had its fair share of false counts. So, another really good match. Can't go wrong with these two. I love Adam Cole. I'm glad he has a title. I was just shocked that he had the title. This quick. After Gargano just won it like a month and a half ago. But again, I love Adam Cole. I love Gargano. I'm glad one of them won. Which sounds weird to say. I'm glad one of them won. So Adam Cole is now your new NXT, champion. Obviously, the you're going to see part 3 of this at the next Takeover, which I believe they're not doing the SummerSlam Takeovers at Brooklyn anymore, because usually every SummerSlam is going to be... Usually every SummerSlam since 2015 has always been at Barclay. This year's SummerSlam is going to be in Toronto. And, Toronto wrestling... Anytime there's wrestling in Toronto, it's always going to be fucking huge. Toronto crowds are always white fucking hot. So now, with this main event, they're going to be hot for it. Make it a regular wrestling match. I don't know. I have a feeling they're going to do something. If it's going to be a third match, which I have a feeling it might be, make it, make it Hell in the Cell. Fuck it. Bring Hell in the Cell to NXT. Make it an Iron... I don't know about an Iron Man match. I'm not crazy about Iron Man matches. Or make it a 2 out of 3 falls. Actually, fuck. They did that already. Fuck it. Make it Hell in the Cell. Make Gargano and Cole Part 3 Hell in the Cell. Why the hell not? Or make it 3 stages of Hell. Fuck it. I know that's kind of technically a 2 out of 3 falls match. But hey, just make it Hell in the Cell. That's just how I would book it. That is my NXT Takeover review. I would rate the show. I'd give the show an 8. I'd give the show an 8, a strong 8. Match of the night being the ladder match, the tag team ladder match. I wouldn't say worst match of the night, but maybe my least favorite match was the women's title match. Matt Riddle, like I've been saying verbatim, he's way too big a star for NXT. They just need to bring him up to the main roster. The guy's a star. He has a star written all over him. And then same thing with Dream. I wouldn't be opposed to you keeping him down in NXT. Keep a lot of these guys down in NXT for a while before they get too big for the product, or just keep them down there for eternity, whatever. Let Gargano be the king of NXT. Fuck it, why not? What the fuck's he gonna do on the main roster? Alright, so that's the end of the show by the sound of that clap. Sorry for my cat meowing a lot during the show. Sorry you had to see me, or hear me yell. But that is the end of the show, guys. Shout outs. Wrestling Soup, DTKC, Trez. What's up, Trez? Our friend Trez, John Draper. John Draper, who's on Wrestling Soup. And Trez, you can hear her talk with Kev on their Patreon show, Dark Chronicles, which you can listen to for $5. Or you can sign up for DTKC's Patreon page for just $5. Same thing with Wrestling Soup. And $5 gets you everything. Gets you all kinds of cool shit. Same thing with John Draper for $5 on the Wrestling Soup Patreon page. You get Global Balling, which is a lovely show. Tyler the Trademark, he just recently put out his own show on Spreaker, so listen to that. Tyler's a good dude. He's a friend of the show. He's a friend of mine. He gave me a shout out on his show, so I'm shouting him out. Well, I'll always shout out Tyler. Tyler's a good dude. The Peter Position and Bops and Bangers, which are both hosted by Peter. Well, Bops and Bangers hosted by Peter and a friend of his. Peter Position is more... It's kind of similar to when Don Tony does blah, 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 and then DTKC. DTKC is, talks about the world of wrestling and among other things, and then blah, blah, blah is more just DT just talking about whatever the fuck he wants to do. Or whatever the fuck he wants to talk about. That's kind of like the Peter Position. Peter just talks about what's going on in the world. Peter's a lot more... He has his feet dipped in more serious political, stuff than I do. I don't really care about politics. It's a good show. I was on it not too long ago. We did a WrestleMania review. So listen to it. It's on Spotify. And then there's Bops and Bangers, which is a music podcast, which if you're a fan of music, listen to that show. Texas Podcast Massacre with Mitch, Nate, and Lisa. It is everywhere where podcasts are distributed. I believe they have their own website. If you love horror movies, these guys do the job for you. Even if you like bad horror movies, they make it entertaining. I was on there twice. It's a fun show. I love those dudes. My Texas brethren. The Architect Podcast with Derek and Irving. Another fun show. You can find it where podcasts are distributed. They were on the show a month and a half ago. We reviewed Avengers Endgame. That was a fun show. I'm sorry if I'm trying to rush through it. I'm just very tired. B-Show Brian, good friend of the show, love him. Julian from the Wrestling Court, good friend of the show, love him. His show is Before Wrestling Soup every Thursday. Alright, that's the end of the show. I will see you guys next week, every Wednesday, same time, same place. I don't know, I might even do an X-Men Dark Phoenix review this weekend if I go see it. Maybe. That's a big maybe. But anyways, see you guys later. Peace.